name is Grace Obasa Sodipe, and I'm in the Management and Leadership program here at SAIT. This is my final reflection of the Intercultural Communication course. I'd like to talk about three things. The first thing I want to talk about is what I learned about the roles of values and beliefs in social and individual identity. One of the biggest things I learned in this course is how deeply values and beliefs sit at the center of who we are. Before, I mostly thought of culture as things like food, festival, or language, but after going through the readings and discussion on culture being viewed as an onion, I realized the values like how people view time, respect, gender roles, or decision making shape our identities long before we even notice it. For example, in my culture, it is always expected for you to bow while exchanging greetings with those who are advanced in age. However, this is not the case in Canadian culture. One can even greet an elderly person with chins up. This helped me make sense of why people sometimes react strongly when their beliefs are challenged. It feels like a threat to their identity, not just a disagreement. This learning changed how I view everyday interactions. So, moving forward, I want to take a step back when I notice someone acting differently from what I expect. Instead of making assumptions, I plan to ask myself what cultural value may be influencing their behavior. I think this will help me be more patient and more compassionate, whether I'm in a group project, at the workplace, or even in my personal relationships. The second thing I want to talk about is the most important things I learned about intercultural communication. What I found most valuable in this course is realizing that intercultural communication starts with being aware of myself. I always knew different cultures communicate differently, but I never really examined my own communication habits or assumptions. For instance, I'm often quiet during workplace conversation because I tend to think while I listen, and also because in Nigerian culture it is considered respectful to remain silent when speaking to a superior or an elderly. However, in Canadian culture, that is not the case. Being verbally engaged and outspoken during meetings is often seen as a sign of attentiveness and participation. Through the activities and examples in class, I realized that what I interpret as clear or respectful communication is not universal. It is shaped by my own cultural norms. This awareness has helped me better understand how different cultures express engagement and respect in diverse ways. I also learned that communication goes far beyond spoken words, and a good communicator must be able to recognize unspoken cues. Cues like silence, like eye contact, a tone, gestures, and even the speed of speaking all carry different meanings across cultures. For example, in my culture, a raised tone can signal confidence, while a softer tone is being interpreted as timidity. However, in Canadian culture, a raised tone may be perceived as aggressive or confrontational. Another key lesson was the importance of asking questions instead of assuming intentions. Something as simple as just to make sure I understand you can really prevent a lot of confusion. I plan to use this at my job and in any situation where I find myself interacting with people who communicate differently from me. The final thing I want to talk about is my level of commitment to the cause and how it affected what I learned. I like to say I stayed committed to the cause by participating in every activities and discussion. I put a lot of effort into my group work by making sure that communication flowed smoothly. For example, at the beginning of the project, communication on Teams was slow, so I reached out to team members and asked for their phone numbers and then created a WhatsApp group to make it easier and faster for us to communicate. I also took time to review our materials and make sure that it is consistent and has good quality before submission. My commitment also made the course feel more personal because I was able to connect the materials to my own experiences, especially around identity, communication, and adapting to new environments. When I learned about business reporting formatting, it really stayed with me and I found myself applying those skills right away. I can now see that the skills I practice in this course will remain useful long after the semester ends, particularly in a multicultural place where clear, respectful, and culturally aware communication is essential. I would like to sincerely thank you, Gifty, for the meaningful impact you have on me throughout this course. Your guidance, support truly shaped my experience, and I am very grateful for the growth I gained because of you. Thank you.